Hello, and welcome to the Killer Cuties podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Cassidy, and I've seen almost every horror movie out there.
And I'm KD, and I've seen almost none of them.
So join us each week as I attempt to make a horror fan out of Katie.
As a warning, we will be discussing spoilers and some uncomfortable topics that may be in the plots, so feel free to check out the film on doesthedogdie.com first to check for any triggers before listening.
Today, we're going to be talking about the 3-hour long surrealist tragic comedy horror film written and directed by Ari Aster, Beau is Afraid. Let's get spooky.
Should I kick us off with a summary?
Please do.
Right. Beau, a man with severe anxiety, lives in a dirty apartment in a crime-ridden city. On his way out of the door to catch a plane to visit his well-to-do mother, his keys and luggage are stolen, for which his mother makes him feel really guilty. That evening, his apartment is broken into by a swarm of the city's homeless. Beau calls his mother to tell her, and the phone is answered by a UPS driver who tells Beau that his mother has died. While trying to make it to her funeral, Beau is hit by a car and stabbed, then wakes up in a strange home with a surgeon and his wife who begin to take care of him while he heals. But the couple's teenage daughter commits suicide, and the mother accuses Beau, sending her adopted son chasing after him for revenge. Beau is chased into a forest where he watches a play about an alternate life where he has children. But Beau knows that he can't have children because he has the same genetic condition that killed his father, where if he ejaculates, his heart will stop. Beau escapes the forest and hitchhikes the rest of the way to his mother's home, where he has just missed the funeral. Inside, he sees an open casket with a woman who has a birthmark on her hand. Then he meets his childhood girlfriend, who convinces him to have sex with her. Instead of Beau dying, however, his childhood girlfriend dies when she finishes, horrifying Beau. It's at this point that Beau's mother appears, telling Beau how disappointed she is in him for not making it to his own mother's funeral. But Beau knew from the birthmark on the body in the casket that his mother was not dead and that she had bribed her long-term housekeeper to kill herself as a test of Beau's devotion to his mother. Beau asks for the truth, and his mother reluctantly leads him to the attic, where Beau discovers his long-lost twin brother and his father, who is a giant penis monster. Horrified, Beau confronts his mother, nearly strangling her to death, then runs outside and gets on a boat. He drives that boat to an arena where he is put on trial for being a bad son, then drowns to the sound of his mother's screams.
And that's what you missed on Glee.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quite the film.
It is a film, that is for sure. I had to take quite a few breaks during watching this. It's a
Why is that?
3-hour film. I think it took me almost 4 hours to finish because it was long and it felt long.
Yep.
Especially honestly, I was having like a grand old time until he left the like suburban house with the surgeon. What were their names? Roger and
Lydia or
no,
who
I
made
know
that up?
it wasn't Lydia. Grace. I think it was
Grace, and
Roger
Tony
and
is the daughter.
Grace. Yes. And I think after he left them, I was having a very hard time focusing on what was happening. And I got up and made myself some lunch. I went out and got my deliveries. Was like I gotta just like take some time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched the first time. I watched it twice.
Mhm.
The first time I watched it straight through, I was absolutely enthralled. I could not stop watching it, but not in like a good way. It was more like watching a car crash. I just couldn't stop watching it. Um talked a lot of shit about it and then watched it again for the second time on 2x speed and kind of loved
I
it.
feel like I feel like if you're gonna watch this movie, watch it on 1.5 or 2. Like just
Yep.
speed it up a little bit and it's probably great.
Yeah. And even on
Yeah.
2x, like there were some scenes that were really drawn out and like just like shots that were drawn out. Like the one that pops into my head was seeing the phone in the dead guy's hand in the hallway of the apartment complex
Mhm.
where it says 911 instead of 911. Like he was clearly dialing 911 when he died. Um, it it lasted on 2x speed, like 10 seconds. Just like way too drawn out.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there were, like, reasons for some of that, like, it's really especially the first act is incredibly anxiety inducing, and I think, like, moments like that kind of build on it where you're like, "Why are we just watching this for so long? Like, what's gonna happen?"
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, the scene where he's in the bathtub and he looks up and there's just some guy on his ceiling and, like, they
Yeah.
stare at each other for what seems like an eternity before he
Mhm.
falls on him, and I was just like I was anxious.
Yeah. 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 I think the whole movie is like I say this a lot, but it kind of like is the personification of like all of my insecurities and all of my anxieties. Like I don't want to say too much because I know who listens to this podcast, but like a lot of the things that happen to Bo, like I'm worried about constantly
Mm. The
and also medicated for.
dying during climaxing? Is that a big Just
No,
kidding.
and surprisingly not the giant penis either. But
Yeah. No, I get it though. I feel like it's yeah, there's a lot of, like, real life anxieties just kind of, like, multiplied by 1,000.
yeah, just like yeah, exactly. The absolute worst that could happen happens. Like it's
Right.
exactly what you're fearing is going to happen happens.
Yeah. And I feel that, like, even in the early scenes when he's, in his apartment in this, like, terrible side of town where people are just getting stabbed in the streets and, like, one guy's always trying to gouge another guy's eyes out and, like, all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff is going on. I'm like, honestly, not that far off from, like, downtown LA or New York. Like, that's
Nope.
I get that. Living in a big city, sometimes it feels like that.
Yeah, yeah. Um it's yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's too bright in here, sorry.
Oh.
um but no, the stuff with his like relationship with his mom and like guilt and it's just it all just kind of like hits all the way home.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it was I mean, the whole movie itself seems like a giant metaphor for guilt and codependency, a lot of mommy issues. I don't know, I feel like at 3 hours, it just felt I feel like I got it in the first 2 hours, I was like, I
Yeah.
get it.
The whole scene in the forest with like the play and the like animated background
Mhm.
could have been cut. I didn't get it. It was like 25 minutes long and that would have cut it down significantly.
It was extremely long, yeah. I think all in all, like, out of the whole if this had been 2 hours instead of 3, I think I would have liked it better. I think it would have been more focused. I think a lot of that kind of stuff would have been cut out. And I actually didn't mind the play section. I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was beautiful. Like I enjoyed that part. But in terms of like was it super important to the rest of the plot of the movie? Not necessarily, but I also don't think that that was really the point of this movie. Was like making sense.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Yeah. It was a bit of a
Yeah,
mess, but, that's just my opinion.
yeah. Um
I was so confused at the beginning. I mean, it kinda made sense near the end because you find out that basically everybody he knew was, like, working for his mom, but at the very beginning when his therapist was like, "Let's start a new medication." A, therapists don't prescribe medication, but also B, like, why would you ever prescribe someone with that much anxiety a new medication to go on, like, right before they're going on a big trip? That's not a thing that anyone would do. It's a terrible time to start a new medication.
also like I don't know a psychiatrist or a therapist that would have like must be taken with water. And if you get sweaty or if you get dizzy or if you can't sleep, you have to tell me immediately. Like, that was like
That
ominous.
part that part though, I feel like I mean, we're seeing everything through Beau's eyes, right? And he's maybe the
Yeah,
most unreliable narrator that you could possibly have. So I think
that's
those
true.
parts I kinda chalked up to him just, like, exaggerating what the therapist said, and just,
That's
like,
fair.
looking at the prescription bottle and just seeing, like, "Must take with water," and then Googling, like, what happens, and it's like, "You're gonna die," and it's like, that's like, having, like, hypochondria or, like, anxiety and, like, searching your symptoms and then immediately going on WebMD and it being like, "Yeah, it's maybe dry lips, but it's also probably cancer," and you're like, "Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
okay." Like,
Yeah.
that's, like
Yeah.
I feel like yeah, that was just them really exemplifying what he felt was going on.
Yeah. Which I don't really ever think about watching movies. So that's an excellent point, is that like I just kind of watch it as an outsider watching. I don't watch it as if it's told from Beau's point of view.
Yeah. I think yeah, because I feel like, the more I watched of it, the more I mean, it gets more and more surreal as you go through it, and so I think my biggest takeaway was just realizing that, like, probably the only scene in the entire movie that happened the way that it's shown is maybe, like, the very, very first scene where he's born. Like, that's probably what actually happened, and then everything after that, we're only getting his point of view on it.
Yeah. That makes sense. So what you're telling me is that his dad is not actually a giant penis.
I would think no.
Darn. It really takes away some of the magic of the film,
I
if I'm being
don't
honest.
I listen, I'm an Ari Aster fan. I liked Hereditary, loved Midsummer. Um, this movie was a movie, but, like, I don't know why he thinks penises are so funny. Like,
He's a guy.
I know, but, like, babe, come on.
That's about all men think are funny.
He did he did a short film, which he's done quite a few short films, and a lot of them I
Yeah.
really enjoyed. Beau
And a
was
lot of them turn
actually
into movies.
well, only Beau, but yes.
Oh,
This is only his 3rd film, so
was it not Hereditary didn't turn it wasn't a short film?
no.
Oh, Saw was a short film.
Saw was, yeah.
That's not Ari Aster.
Nope. This
Alright,
is
well, I'm
only his 3rd
confused.
film, and it's the
Okay.
only one that was, like, slightly adapted from, uh, one of his shorts, which was just called Beau. Um And I get it, like, I get how it became from this because I did enjoy the short film, Beau, but he has one called TDF Really Works. TDF stands for Tino's Dick Farts, um, and I can't even tell you how terrible it was, like,
Oh, no.
it's meant to be a comedy, it's not funny at all. I think I think maybe I wanna watch Ari Aster's horror movies and maybe not his comedy films, I think is where I'm at.
Well,
Not
this
that
one was billed as a comedy.
yes, and I do get it in the beginning, like, I think as it kinda went on, it got a little bit less funny, there were still some moments where I was kinda like, "Oh," like, it's so ridiculous that it's funny.
Yeah.
Um, but, like, the beginning, I was, like, laughing. He, like, comes home and there's this sign on his door that's like, "Brown recluse spider loose in the building," and then he opens the door and it just, like, has a shot of the spider running across, and then, like, there's a news report of the birthday boy stab man. I
Yes.
I thought that was brilliant. I'm like, "That's fucking hilarious. Birthday boy stab man."
And it took me until the second watch through to realize that's why the cop was holding his gun on Beau, is because he thought that he was the birthday suit man,
Birthday boy stab man, thank you.
birthday boy stab man, sorry, in his birthday suit,
Yeah.
stabbing men. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, what a wild ride it was.
It
Do you think
was.
it's a horror movie?
No,
No.
but I don't really know what it is. It's not really
Um,
fully anything, is it?
psychological horror comedy drama.
Yeah. Surrealist. Add surrealist to the beginning of that, and then
Surrealist psychological horror comedy drama.
yes,
Yep.
starring Joaquin Phoenix
And a giant penis.
and the 12-foot penis monster.
That was the scariest part of the whole movie.
Really?
Well, wait, let me rephrase. That was the horroriest part.
Mm,
Is like the penis and like the shooting and the blood and the stabbing.
yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I love how everyone thought this has nothing to do with the penis monster, but
Mm. Is it even worth talking about then?
is it? You
I'm
tell
just
me.
kidding.
You let us know
I'm
in the
just kidding.
comments. I love that everyone thought that the kid who plays the younger version of him in this movie was AI. Everybody thought it was an AI version of Joaquin Phoenix just, like, aged down
What?
to the point where like, in this kid's Instagram bio for a while, he had "not AI." Like, he had to come out and be like, "Hi, I'm the kid.
I'm
I'm
real.
not
I'm an actual person.
yeah, I'm not AI."
Oh God.
But he
Poor kid.
does. I mean, he looks like a young version of Joaquin like, I'd see it.
No, I didn't see it at all.
Really? They have the
Yeah,
same
not really.
nose.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, that I didn't see that at all. I mean, definitely not to the point where I was like, oh my God, he's an AI.
I didn't really either, but people all over thought that that's what it was happening there, so
I mean, I wouldn't put it past film producers in today's day and age to do that. So
not at all.
yeah.
Not at all.
Hmm.
And I liked Bill Hader's little cameo.
Right?
I love Bill
Just the
Hader.
voice of the UPS driver?
Yeah, I think you see his back at one point, if it was actually
Yeah,
him. It was his voice
in
for
an
sure, but
interview.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thought that was funny.
In the original, I think I sent you, and maybe we can like link it in the description or something. But like the PDF of the like notes of the movie or whatever that were written by the production team,
Yeah.
um, said that oh shoot, the Witch Queen from Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe.
Oh, Tilda Swinton?
Tilda Swinton was supposed to be in this movie.
Oh, I could see her doing a movie like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But alas, she was
Interesting.
not.
Yeah. I'm sorry that happened to you.
That's okay. It's all right. But I could absolutely see her. She and like Ray Fiennes, I can see doing a lot of the same movies. They used to be married.
Oh.
Um but yeah, like I could see her in like The Menu. I could see him in like
Mm.
Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe and
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
fair.
Anyway, a tangent.
Yeah. This movie was supposed to be Ari Aster's directorial debut. And then
Got
it
delayed or
well, yeah, it didn't get made. Like back in like 2014, I think he was trying to like sell it and the script was leaked online and then yeah, it didn't happen, which makes sense to me. I feel like I don't know if this movie would have been made unless he had been so successful with like Hereditary and Midsummer. I feel like this movie's kind of a hard pitch unless you're already an established director.
that is very true.
Yeah.
I could see you have a hard time pitching this.
Yeah.
But A24,
They love some weird shit.
they love weird shit. Yeah. I don't know if you saw Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah. Of course I did. It's one of the
Weird
best
shit,
movies ever
but
made.
such good shit. It's so good.
So good.
Yeah. I had a little bit higher expectations for this movie because of that movie, for sure. Anything that A24 puts out
Oh.
after Everything Everywhere, I have higher expectations for.
I don't think that's fair. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once was kind of like I mean, that movie's fucking fantastic. I think it's
Yeah,
kinda hard to
yeah.
to
It's
beat
peak.
that.
I agree. I had a real life existential crisis after seeing that movie.
Oh,
Yeah. Dylan had to like peel me off the ground.
okay.
It was a good movie.
It is a good movie, yeah. It didn't
Mhm.
impact me like that, but I
Oh,
respect it.
thank you. Yeah, great film. Great film. But no, you're right. It's unfair of me to hold A24 to that kind of standard. But I mean,
Yeah.
most of the movies that they've put out have been absolute fucking bangers.
Yeah, I like a lot of their stuff. But I think I don't know. You haven't seen Midsummer yet, so, who's to say what you'll think of that. Um,
True, I guess. That's A24 too?
yeah. I think Ari Aster's only ever released from A24.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think in terms of his films, this is definitely the weakest one in my opinion. I think Hereditary and Midsummer were much better, but um I feel like there's probably like 4 or 5 people out there who watch this movie and were like, "This is peak cinema. This is everything I've ever wanted in a movie," and I'm so happy for them. I wasn't one of them personally, but, like, love that for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, to each their own, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've established that it's not really horror. If it is, it's like a sixth horror.
Yeah.
Is it scary?
No.
Nope.
Personally, I did not think so. I gave it a 1. Um, Again, it wasn't as scary as it was kind of anxiety-inducing.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Just
1?
one. Yeah, one. Not scary at all.
Yeah. How sexy.
Mm, not at all.
No?
0. 1. 1.
You saw a peen. Saw, like, 2 peens, I think.
I s and Joaquin Phoenix's ball sack
Yeah.
prosthetic.
Uh-huh. Maybe. Who's to say?
1. You?
1. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, Even the sex scene to the tune of Mariah Carey was the maybe one of the least sexy sex scenes I've ever seen in my entire life.
Correct.
So, that's
Uncomfortable.
that's a 1 from me.
Yeah. A little. Yep.
Yep.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
It was a bit fucked up.
Yeah.
Um, I was teetering between, like, a 1.5 and a 2, though, because I feel like
Okay.
it was, like, weird, but, like, the dad penis monster, I don't like, why? I don't I mean, I don't know, I guess I kinda get it, like, I feel like it was kinda showing that, like, the mom really, like, demonizes sexuality a bit, right? Like, that's why she made him think that he was gonna die. But listen, I when I watch a film, I just wanna have, a silly, goofy time, right? And so, I don't wanna have to, like, think about the metaphor that's being presented to me.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Um, I gave it a 2.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, because like I said, some of it was like realistic. Like
Mhm.
my brain's gone there. My brain has not gone to a giant penis monster representation of my father. Thank God.
I should hope not.
But yeah, no, I just gave it a 2.
Yeah, I think that's a fair rating. Uh, what about overall?
The first time I watched it, I would have given it a 2.
Okay.
The second time I watched it, sped up, a 3. So I'll split the difference, 2.5. Because it wasn't sped up in real life.
It
I
wasn't.
made that happen.
Yeah.
2.5. What'd you give it?
I gave it a 2.5.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. We're in sync.
yeah, I didn't hate it. Well, I don't know. When we predicted this movie, I said, I think it's gonna be a movie that people either love or they hate. And what ended up happening, I think, is that there were parts of it that I loved and parts of it that I hated.
Yeah.
So, like, there was a lot in this movie that I really enjoyed, and then there were some things that just kind of fell flat. I didn't like the pacing. I felt like it was a little bit messy. Could have done without the whole attic scene, if I'm being honest. And, like, but one thing I will say, and one thing that I love about this and that I will defend forever, is that this is a passion project. And I think we're in an age where, like, we don't see that a lot. It was very original. You're never gonna find another movie like this. It was weird, it was interesting, and even if you hate it, I think it's worth giving it a watch because you might really love it. Um, and I don't know, I would rather watch a movie like this and risk loving it or hating it than watch a million sequels and remakes and reboots that feel like the same 5 movies are in the theaters every time you go. Like, it's just I feel like that's kind of where we're at right now, where everything's a remake, everything's a reboot, everything's a sequel, and I don't wanna watch that anymore. I don't wanna watch any more Marvel movies, like, please stop putting them up. I don't wanna watch Fast and Furious 19, like, stop.
Oh my god, we're closer to Fast and Furious 19 than we are to Fast and Furious 1.
I know.
Oh god. But
But
no,
yeah.
that was beautifully said. I wholeheartedly agree that I'm glad the movie was made.
Yeah.
It was not for me.
Yeah.
Um, but I did like it better the second time. So maybe if I watch it a third time, I'll like it even more. Maybe I'll get it better.
Yeah, see, I feel like I got it, but it was just I didn't want to.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry, that's not true. Again, there were
Sorry,
parts of
Ari.
it that I really fucking loved. Like, honestly, the first, like, 2 hours, I was enthralled. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be one of these people that, like,
That's what I'm saying.
really loves this," and then it kinda started dragging a bit,
Yeah.
near the end, but I like how every time Ari Aster describes this movie, by the way, like, he's done, like, Q&As and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
every time he does, he's like, "Yeah, this guy's a fucking dweeb," or like, I wanted everybody to see what life's like through a loser's eyes." Like, he just will not stop shitting all over Beau, and I think it's
Aw.
so funny. Like, I don't know why it makes me laugh so hard every time he's like, "Yeah, this guy's a fucking loser."
Oh my god. That's so sad.
But
I
it's
I
funny.
love I love Bo. Like he seems so like sweet and innocent and like
I
honestly, I
don't
don't blame him for trying to strangle his mom.
Yeah, I feel like some people might be, like, annoyed with him or frustrated because you're like I mean, they never really say how old he is. I think he's, like, 50 or something like that, close to 50.
Older, yeah.
Um, and, like, I think there's a point where you have to just remove yourself from a situation, but it's kinda difficult when your mom's hiring paid actors to be around you all the time.
Yeah.
So I think he's a product, uh, of his mother. I don't think that who he is really, he never stood a chance, you know?
Yeah.
But I thought
Agree.
Joaquin did a fantastic job. I mean, he's a great actor, but, like, he was great in this.
I
Honestly,
agree.
everybody
Yeah.
was. I don't think there was anybody who really, like, lacked performance-wise.
No, I agree. AI kid, great.
Yep. Patty LuPone,
um,
Nathan
Patty
Lane,
LaPone.
was it Amy
Oh,
Ryan?
thank you for saying
Fantastic.
Nathan Lane. Did you notice the little Easter egg in the movie when Nathan
No,
Lane is first shown on screen?
I don't think so.
I hope this was intentional because I noticed it. But the first time he shows up on screen, there's a little bird cage hanging on the wall next to him.
Because he was in
The
the
movie Birdcage.
Birdcage. I
Correct.
haven't seen that. That's with Robin Williams, though, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah. So I hope that was intentional because I thought it was cute. Cute
Yeah.
little callback.
I thought it was gonna be like a Disney poster or something. Because wasn't he the voice
No,
of Timon?
Pumbaa.
Pumbaa.
Wait. No, you're right. Timon.
Timon.
Timon. Timon. You're right.
Yeah,
Timon.
yeah,
The meerkat. Yeah.
yeah. Do you wanna
Right?
say Timon a couple more times, or
Timon.
Timon, 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 Timon,
Timon.
Timon.
Right?
Yes, he's the voice of Timon. Stop.
Okay,
Timon's gonna
thank
stop.
you.
It's gonna sound fake now. I can't
Yeah.
keep saying.
Look it up. Look it up.
Also, side note completely, but apparently they did. Ari Aster and A24 decided to like pull a little April Fool's Day prank on people. Like a bunch of people had bought tickets to like a special screening of Midsummer on April 1st of this year, 2023,
Cute.
and they played a preview of this movie instead. And I'm like, I don't know. Part of me is like, I think I'd rather watch Midsummer, but I also think if I hadn't seen this movie, I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's watch this. Just like a month before it came out.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And I feel like anybody who's going to like a special screening of Midsummer is probably a fan of Ari and was probably excited for this movie to come out. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they still played it or not. They might have. Who's to say?
Double feature.
That'd be so long. Holy shit.
Oh my god. How long is Midsummer? 2.5, 2?
2.5.
Woof.
But
No
like,
way.
I don't think Midsummer feels like 2.5 hours.
Okay.
But again, that's my opinion. So, like, this
Yeah.
movie felt like 3 hours.
Yeah, this movie, when I was talking about how some movies are slogs, this movie's a fucking slog. Like you're putting on rain boots and walking through a muddy forest.
Yeah.
It's so hard to watch.
It is kind of. That's why I'm very impressed you watched it twice. I think that this will probably be the last time I ever watch this
I mean, one, I wanted to give it another chance.
Yeah.
Just like I want to give the menu another chance, right? I hated the menu. I want to give it another chance. But 2x, man. I'm telling you, just try it on 2x and see if that skews it a little. Like, oh yeah, this is
Mm,
the pace is a little faster, you know?
yeah. Maybe. Maybe in like a few months, I'll give it another go.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's what I said about the menu, and it's been what, 5 months?
I don't think that you should give the menu another try though. I think A, you should wait at least 6 months to a year. And
Okay.
B, you need to watch it with like a group of friends.
Okay. We'll watch it in October.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, watch it
Okay.
with me because I'll be having a great time and you'll be like, do I get it? I don't know.
I mean, I'm not gonna just suddenly get it because I watch it again.
No, but sometimes like there's been so many times I've watched a movie just in a piss poor mood, and when I rewatch it, I'm like, this was actually pretty good. Like Cabin in the Woods. First time I watched it, I was not in the right mood.
It was
Now I
also
fucking
not
love
in
that
the
movie.
right format.
Okay, first of all, I was a poor college student. Second of all, I do not condone the method in which I watched it, but
Right.
yeah, watching that movie from someone's handheld camcorder they took in a theater was not ideal.
Not the best way to see a film.
No. All right. I mean, this feels like a weird question for this type of movie, but would you survive?
Yeah, this wasn't a horror movie. Like, this question's dumb. Sorry, but I'm not answering that.
I love that because when I was thinking about my answer, I was like, yeah, because what happened? Like, we don't even know who's alive and who's actually dead in this movie. So, yeah, I get the benefit of the doubt. And I'm saying I live
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I also have anxiety and I have dealt with it. So, that's not fair. Some people have worse anxiety than me and can't deal with it. So, I'm not going to judge, but couldn't be me.
Yeah, I get you.
Me and my mother have boundaries, and that's why we get along.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, but Beau survives, right? You're putting yourself no, he doesn't, he dies.
Well, does he though?
I mean, he drowns.
Does he? Or is that just a metaphor for him returning to the water of the womb and him realizing that he's never going to escape his mom? It could just be a fucking metaphor, Katie. We don't know.
Okay, well, either way, I'm living. So
But that's my point is like I feel like anybody can justify surviving this movie because technically you could argue that no one actually even died in this film. Who's to say? Not me, just Ari Aster. Get him on the phone. Get him on the line. I got some words.
honestly, a really fun sequel to this movie would be like the real, like what actually happened.
Yeah.
Because it could be scary. You know what I
Could
mean?
it? I feel like it would be more toned down. I feel like that would be a true comedy. Because it'd be like Joaquin Phoenix just like having a panic attack and someone's just like, "Hey man, what's up?" Passes by on the street. And in his eyes, that's some guy trying to gouge his eyes out, you know? Like
Yeah. I guess that's true. That's
we
true.
don't know.
Or maybe that's what would have made it better is if like the actual like what was happening was woven into the movie, you know,
No,
like
Katie,
if
then it
it
would have been
showed what
5
Beau thought.
hours.
Oh my god, you're right. There's no way to fix it. There's no way to fix it.
Yeah. I think this movie just is what it is. And you can like it or you can hate it, but it is what it is. And I'll stand by the fact that I'm happy it got made, and I hope more things like this are made in the future. Because maybe someone's gonna do that weird fucking project that me and 4 other people think is the best movie they've ever seen, you know?
Well,
Who's
you
to
know
say?
what's a perfect example of that? That like was perfect is Everything
Everything
Everywhere All
Everywhere.
at Once.
Yeah.
Perfect example of like that shit's never happened on screen.
Right.
Nobody's ever even thought of Jamie Lee Curtis with fucking hot dog hands in a lesbian relationship with one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen, by the way. Like that's only been conceived of one time, and thank God it got made.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my point is like out of these
Yeah.
weird, ridiculous, insane ideas, like some of them might not be your favorite, but some of them are going to be so fucking good to you that it's like, thank God this got made, you know?
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. Well, any last thoughts?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered everything that we can cover with this movie, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
hopefully people will see it and you know, maybe someone will just like tell me their opinion of this movie and it'll make me love it a little bit more because I'm like, wow, this person really saw the beauty in it, you know? Not that this was a beautiful film. I thought it was fantastically made. It was great to look at,
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
except for the
And I
penis
hope
monster.
that except for the penis monster, that was not beautiful. Um and I hope that I mean if anybody's listening this far in, I'd hope that they have seen it already, but like
Yeah.
have they not? Please go watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
Support passion projects.
Yep. If you get anything out of this podcast, that's the important one.
Yep.
Okay, well, usually this is the time of the podcast where Katie predicts the next movie. Um, Unfortunately, Katie's already seen the next movie because we had to film a little bit out of order. Uh, so it is The Grudge. And we're excited to say that next week is our 25th episode. So
Yay!
little mile marker there. We do have a special guest. I won't say who, it'll be a little surprise, but if you know us from our gaming streams, you might know the guest as well as a little hint. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging in there for 25 episodes, and we're excited for next week.
Same. Bye.
There it is.
All right, well, that wraps it up for today. If there are any movies you'd like to hear us talk about, please let us know in the comments or shoot us a DM on our socials.
Thanks so much for listening. Next week, we're going to be celebrating our 25th episode. We'll be watching the 2004 American remake starring Sarah Michelle Gellar, The Grudge. Thanks so much. We hope to see you then. Bye.